So when I went to go grab my clipper, I'll never forget this.
Oh, shit.
All I remember, like, my heart dropped because
It's your boy Crispy, the Keep It Crispy podcast. Today we got a very special guest in the building. He's coming all the way from the 305 Miami, Florida to you guys. And we're kind of switching it up a little bit because a lot of times you guys are used to, we're interviewing dope athletes and people that are actually, in that sport playing it or whatever the case is. But today we're going to take a little peek behind the scenes of how it is for somebody who cuts all your favorite athletes and celebrities and super influential people. So I've always actually wanted to know how it was going to be behind the scenes, being able to cut these different people and how it was and everything like that. So today we got our brother Zack Blendz in the building.
What up, what up?
Let's give a little round of applause for Zack Blendz, everybody here. All right, so check it out now. So first of all, before we even get into it, guys, just mind us because we're a little stuffed from a foodie tour that we did today.
Facts.
We went, where did we go today?
We overate. We started off with my favorite Absolute Bagel.
Went to Absolute Bagel.
When I'm in New York City.
Yeah.
I gotta start off my mornings with that for sure.
Which we did that early in the morning today.
And then I think we went to Queens, right? And we had some chicharrón en pollo.
Chicharrón en pollo. We had some of that.
That was really good.
Then you cooked up a storm. Yo, just for you guys just to know, we are bloated. It doesn't matter because we're live and uncut, and we're here in the building.
Yes,
so now let's get into this here real quick. So, Zach, why don't you let everybody know here where you grew up and, like, how your upbringing was?
Yeah, man. Well, first off, I was born in Texas. At a young age, my mom moved to Miami with me and my brother. And we lived in Miami most of our life. Well, we lived in Miami pretty much all of our lives. But when I was, I want to say 11 or 12, I moved to New York, and I lived with my grandma in Manhattan. And I actually went to middle school there and whatnot. And it was awesome. But yeah, I lived in New York for some time, and and now I'm back in Miami.
Well, how was New York when you were living there?
Man, New York was great. It was probably, some of the best memories growing up as a kid because, having my grandma always, just being so there for me for everything and, going to Catholic school and, she for the most part, she was there, but she worked a lot. You know what I'm saying? She worked a lot and, that's what's funny because a lot of my beginning life of, cooking and wanting to be cooking before the whole cutting
We're going to get
thing.
into the cooking, guys, by the way.
Yeah, we're definitely
going to
get back into
nother...
that. But I would say it would be when I was living with her. You know what I'm saying? She babysit a lot for children and stuff in New York. And, a lot of the time when she wasn't home, I had to cook and this and that. And I would cook for her to have food ready and stuff. So it's funny because her first thing she taught me how to cook was, I'll never forget, she always had a drawer full of pasta. Pasta. And if you go on my food page, which is Blendz Kitchen, you'll see a lot of you'll see a lot of pasta.
That's dope.
Your boy like pasta.
Man, yeah, the homemade pasta.
Yeah,
for
homemade
sure,
pasta
guys.
for sure. But yeah, living in New York was a great experience, especially at a young age. I grew up playing basketball when I was there. I played travel baseball and stuff. So my experience as a young kid living in New York was awesome.
I was gonna ask you, like, what sports did you play?
Yeah, I was big in baseball, and then I started playing football when I moved back to Miami for high school, and I played I think 2 years I played football, my junior and senior year.
You gotta let everybody know the Derek Jeter story that you told us,
Derek
man.
Jeter.
This is a dope story right here with Derek Jeter.
So back in the day when I lived in New York, it's funny because my grandmother, so my aunt, she's a big Pilates instructor in Australia, and so a lot of her people that she teach usually come down to New York and they'll go to schooling here and whatnot. And a lot of them would stay at my grandma's house. So there was this particular lady, which I don't, remember her name, that she basically, she picked up a side job at a New York Yankee bar. And so happened she knew that I was a big Yankee fan, being that I was always in my grandma's house talking about Derek Jeter and, you know, this and that. And funny to say that Derek Jeter was going to this Yankee bar that she was working at, and she had asked him if she could give me a call when I was young. You know, like, hey, there's this kid that I live with at the house that he's a big fan, and, you know, there would be nothing more than, you know, hearing him, like, see you call would make me, you know, super happy or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
And, yeah, man, she told me that day. I remember I stayed by the phone all day, man. I stayed by the phone all day waiting for the phone call. I remember everything. Every time someone would call, I would think it was him, and it wasn't.
It's crazy.
The second I walked out of my grandma's apartment to go downstairs, I hear when I come back in, I hear like the beep, like a message. You know, back in the day, like if someone left you a voice message.
Voicemail.
Yeah, voicemail on the thing, it would beep, right? So all I hear is, hey, Zach, you know, this is Derek Jeter calling.
That's crazy.
You know, I just wanted to call and say hello, this and that. So my grandmother had a caller ID. So I called back the number that, you know, that had called. And so, you know, a woman picks up, and I was like, hey, I think Derek Jeter called. I've been waiting all day.
Imagine getting that call.
And yeah, man, it was dope. She actually put him on. She was kind of next to him.
That's dope.
And we spoke on the phone for about, you know, a few minutes. And as a kid, man, that just was like amazing, man. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because, like, it's a lot of these people that kids look up to. You know what I'm saying? Is what the younger generation, like the younger generation, really look up to these people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at such a young age, him doing that for me, like, it made me want to be a better baseball player. I just felt so, you know, like, wanting to do whatever I do, I wanted to do the best thing I could do, you know?
Like anything is possible.
Anything is possible. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. So
you know
at such a young age, yeah.
Yeah, man.
So after all that happened, then how old were you when that happened?
I want to say I was about 11 years old.
Okay, 11. So you were still in New York. Then when did you go back to Miami?
So after my 8th grade year, my grandmother was going to look for, I think, a high school out here, and I was missing my mom a lot, you know what I'm saying? I think, you know, moving to New York and, you know, at a young age not knowing, you know, because I used to come and visit my grandma all the time. And when I actually moved to New York, you know, I didn't know that I was actually going to stay, you know. It's crazy because, like, she packed my bag like if it was like a normal me going for the summer. And I noticed that my mom packed up a few extra amount of clothes.
Yeah.
And I remember my grandma asking, you know, would you want to, you know, stay here and try schooling? And I at the time, I didn't know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I did my 7th, 8th grade here. And so after 8th grade year, I moved back to Miami to be with my mom.
Oh, so right in high school, fresh.
Yeah.
Wow.
High school, fresh.
So what was your first job? Like when did you start working?
So I started working, if you want me, so my first job ever was at a movie theater.
Okay.
Yeah, it was at a movie theater. And then I had another job, I think it was Pizza Hut. That was terrible.
Me and Slim over here. Show producer worked there for a while.
I worked at Pizza Hut for a little bit. That was terrible. I think I was getting paid like $6.50 an hour. I think like after my 2-week checks were like $50-something.
That's crazy.
I swear.
While you were in high school?
I was in high school.
Wow.
I was in high school.
So when did you start like getting exposed to cutting hair?
So when I had turned 16, I'll never forget. 16 years old, my aunt took us to Disney World for the first time. My cousins already had been like multiple times. My mom had a condition, you know, when we were younger. She had got meningitis and got sick. So, you know, we had, you know, other family members that always, you know, came in our lives to take care of me and my brother as well, and this and that. And so, you know, my brother and I never had been to like Disney World as kids and this and that. And you know, my aunt took us for my 16th birthday for the first time to Disney World. I remember my grandmother had sent me some birthday money, and I never had to use it because everything was pretty much taken care of. And I remember I started like watching people's on YouTube like cutting hair, and I thought it was like super dope. And I had some extra birthday money, and at the time I had cash, and I didn't have a card, so I remember I gave my mom, some of the money I had to buy the clipper online. You know what I'm saying? And I had bought the clipper online. I remember it took about like a few days to ship. When I first got it, I opened it up, and I went to go give myself like a little, like try to see what I did, like, try to, I had seen videos online. So I'm like, let me try to fade myself up and this and that. And funny thing is, the clipper fell out of my hand right away. So I turned it on and it fell and it broke. And right then and there, I was just like, I don't want to do this. This is not for me. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Right when you got the clipper. So then what happened, like when you dropped it?
So when I dropped it, I told my mom, and she was actually happy that, I found something that, that I was going to like. She always like, whenever I had jobs and stuff, I never stayed long because I just didn't like, people telling me what to do. You know what I'm saying? I've always been, ambitious. A person that, at the end of the day, like, that I always want to do things on like
you want to control your own thing, man.
Right.
And on this channel, guys, like we always speak about, like Zach's the perfect example. It doesn't like just because you're involved in the sport that you're involved in, there's always different avenues that you could do things and achieve things. And like for us, we didn't want to be, stuck at a 9 to 5, which is cool if you're comfortable with it and you're happy. But, we looked out and we searched the world for what our niche is and what we're really good at. And that's how we ended up with that. So that's cool. So then when you like decided that, all right, I'm going to try this haircutting thing again, then what happened?
So then my mom told me that she was going to buy me another clipper and that, let's try this out. And so I started going to it's funny. I like I said, I started playing football in high school my junior and senior year. So I would tell all the guys on the football team, like, yo, hey, after school, come to my house. I'll shape you up and stuff for $5. And they would. Some of them will come through, and some would be like, nah, fuck no, dog. You gonna fuck me up. Like shout out my boy Elson. I used to tell Elson
in high school.
Elson all the time. I'd be like after school, hey, come to my house. He'd be like, fuck no. You know what I'm saying? And now
crazy.
Elson is my client. Well, he's not only my client, he's my dog. Boy, you know what I'm saying? That's my close boy. Shout out to my dog Elson for real.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, shout out to Elson, man. He's a cool dude.
Yeah,
by the way, guys, I was in Miami last year, as you guys know, building the business, and that's how I met Zach here, and we all became like family out there. So we all know each other from like previously times. So that's pretty cool. You started cutting people in high school, and some were like, "Yo, cut me up." The other one was like, "Nah, fuck that."
Yeah.
And then, out of all like. There's millions of barbershops. There's millions of barbers that are out there. Like, how in the world did you go from messing people up and not knowing what you're doing to, like, one of literally the top barbers in Miami? Actually, everywhere, not just Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, when you first, did it take a lot of practice? Like,
yeah, it definitely took a lot of practice, man. I messed up a bunch of people for sure, man. But... You gotta mess up to get better. You know what I'm saying? Things come with time. You know what I'm saying? And it took a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? I never gave up. I messed up the people I messed up. Shout out to them. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah, I'm just super blessed. I couldn't be more happier than what where my clippers took me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's crazy.
I've met a bunch of people in my life. Some friends that I'll never, at the end of the day, I don't have to call them friends. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like family. You know what I'm saying?
From just cutting hair.
Just cutting hair, man.
That's crazy. That's just like me with the basketball thing, meeting all these awesome people, and you're doing the same thing with like the Clippers and everything like that. That's crazy. So who was like one of your first? Because if you guys don't know and you haven't checked his page out, Zack Blendz with a Z. I mean, he's cut. You got Marlon Wayans, you got Snoop Dogg, you got a bunch of Dolphin players, Miami Heat players, Knicks players, Patriot players. I mean, all of the NFL, the NBA, baseball too, right? MLB.
Nah, have I cut a baseball player? I'm not sure. I don't think I've cut a baseball player.
Nah, baseball player yet?
Nah.
That would be pretty cool if you get into the baseball
Yeah,
scene.
That'd be cool.
Because you already got the NBA, the NFL on lock, a bunch of like celebrities and everything like that.
A hockey player, maybe.
Or even a hockey player. That would be pretty dope. Who's the first athlete you ever cut?
So the first
how did that happen?
Athlete I ever cut was Metal World Peace.
Oh, shout out. Let them know the real
Ron
Artest for all those back
Ron
in the day.
Artest, yeah. It was funny. I was hanging out on I think it was a Saturday afternoon or evening, and I got a call from one of my dudes I cut up, and he's like, "Hey man, we're at South Beach. I'm with my uncle." I'm like, "Oh, who's your this and that." I'm like, he's like, "Oh, Chad Ocho Cinco." I said, "Ocho Cinco's your uncle?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yo, he's hanging out with Metal World Peace." I was like, "Oh, word?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "He need a haircut, this and that." So I'm thinking like, "All right, bet." So he tells me, he sends me the address. I'm thinking I'm going to like a hotel, this and that. And at the time, I wasn't really established not necessarily established, but the way I used to like run around, I with my clippers, I used to have like a little box. Like it was like a small box. I wouldn't use like a professional barber case.
You got a box now.
Yeah, I have a box now and this and that I've had for years. So I ended up pulling up with my little box,
case or whatever.
My little box, and I look up and it's a restaurant.
Huh?
A restaurant. So
in South Beach?
Yeah, it's in South Beach. I see a restaurant, and I'm like, where are we supposed to do this at? Ron Artest, he's in front of me, this and that. He's like, "What's up, man?" I was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "You gonna get a cut?" He's like, "Yeah. We're gonna do it in the bathroom." I said, "We're at a restaurant, man." I don't know how he did this. All I remember, we were in the bathroom. There was people coming in and out, washing hands, peeing.
Get out of here.
This and that, and I'm cutting up Ron Artest in the bathroom in South Beach.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really is. Like,
how old were you?
Man, I must have
been
been
in the beginning?
Yeah, I was probably about 20, 21, 22.
Oh, man, he was a youngin' cutting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. How do you like the cut when it was done?
I'm not gonna lie, man. It was
fucked
my
it
first. I was shaky, yo.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I was shaky. Ron Artest. You think Ron Artest? When he went into
stands, get snuff you for a bad haircut, bro.
Exactly. So I was a little shaken up, this and that, but it was dope, man. I cut him up. I didn't do much. I gave him an edge up. It's funny because I ended up getting cool with his I guess his manager that same night, and he wanted to cut too, but time ran short, and he asked me if I can go back to their hotel the next day. So it was pretty cool. So the next day I ended up going to the hotel. I think it was the Lowe's on South Beach, and I pull up and I cut up his manager, and right after I cut him up, he's like, "Yo, you want to go downstairs and go have a few drinks? We got a cabana." And man, I'm young, man, so I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down." This and that. So I get downstairs and I see Meta with a few cigars. Huh? And Metal World Peace gave me a cigar. He's like, "Hey, what's going on, man? Let's go hang out."
Oh, that's dope.
And we hung out, bro. And that same night we ended up going to a club called Mansions. I'll never forget. Mansions nightclub. So I hung out with him the whole day, man. That was pretty cool.
All from a haircut.
Yeah, just all from a haircut.
That is wild.
Good vibes.
Wow.
Good vibes. Yeah.
And you just recently cut up Josh Hart from the Knicks, and he's in that magazine where your haircut all over the place.
That was dope, man. That was an awesome experience.
How did that feel?
That was dope, man. First time, being featured in a magazine. I couldn't be any happier, especially, another milestone in my career. You know what I'm saying? With cutting. Josh Hart's my guy. He's always treated me well whenever I come over. Vice versa. We just have a good, I guess, friendship with cutting and
for
being
sure,
kind and this and that. So
yeah, that's dope, man. Because when I seen the picture of him on the magazine, and then just knowing that it's like me when somebody wears my clothes that I created,
it feels good.
And you see your haircut, it's like
there's nothing like it, man.
It really is.
There's nothing like it. There really isn't nothing like it.
That's pretty dope.
I love seeing like my haircuts especially when Haywood.
Yeah, shout out to Haywood.
Yeah,
that's our guy, man.
Rocks the cut on the court.
That's so fire seeing that.
I always got my dog clean. So
hell yeah. Yeah, shout out to Haywood Highsmith, man, on the Miami Heat. That's our dog right there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, cool. Now you cut up Snoop Dogg. You gotta tell us how the heck that happened.
Snoop Dogg was a dope experience too, man. So it was another. I remember I got hit up. So I networked with a few barbers when I was younger. You know, as far as, you know, like some of the other barbers that deal with, you know, celebrity clientele, this and that. And, you know, I got cool with the barber called JC the Barber on Instagram. And me and him would show each other love. You know, I would send him clients whenever, you know, they were in LA. And, you know, whenever he had clients in Miami, you know, he trusted me with his clients. So, you know, I got hit up by him and he asked me, hey, you know, Snoop's going to be in town for a movie. They need a on-set barber. I'm like, damn, what? Yeah, I freaked out. I was like, damn, this is dope, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, absolutely. He sent me like all the info, like where I was gonna be. Like, you know, there was like, it was just dope. It was dope, man. Cutting Snoop Dogg was probably,
That's fire.
if not like probably one of the best like experience I had with cutting, like, you know, a big name, you know what I'm saying?
Of course, man. Snoop Dogg's a fucking legend,
dope.
bro. There's just millions
dope.
of barbers that he could have chose, and you're the one that cut him up.
Yeah, man. It was super dope.
Yeah, that's fire, man. And then you cut Deontay Wilder, right?
Deontay Wilder was dope.
Man, guys, Deontay
Yo,
Wilder.
shout out to my boy Deontay Wilder.
Yo, for sure. You gotta tell me how that is.
He's
man.
very spiritual, brother.
Yeah.
He's very spiritual. He does not mess with bad vibes whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? When I first met him, I remember, I remember there was like an incense burning. And I remember if I was a bad energy, the incense was supposed to smell bad.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And it smelled fine. So he welcomed me in and it was dope, man. I remember cutting his hair and, you know, we talked about, you know, the whole Tyson Fury fight. I think that was like before they fought the second time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so that was right. And how did that like conversation?
It went well, man. Obviously,
he opened up to you and stuff?
Yeah, he opened up to me. He told me, you know, how he felt about, you know, how the fight went and stuff. You know, obviously he didn't like the outcome from the first fight, and, you know, he was pumped to fight him again. And, you know, it was awesome, man. He's mad tall, yo.
Is he?
He's mad tall.
That's crazy.
You could tell he definitely got power for sure.
6'7" or something like that, right? 6'8".
He's definitely tall, bro.
What?
He's definitely tall.
How is like the energy, like being around these, like all these athletes that you cut and all these like celebrities, like they're you know, just by their net worth and their energy, like their aura? How does that feel, like you being able to be with them and in that same circle? You know what I mean? That same circle.
It feels good. I honestly, I'm very good with adapting with anyone. You know what I'm saying? You know, I guess you can say I'm a people person. You know, I can adapt to anyone's energy. I can match it. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know, me being around them is not any difference of me being around anyone. You know,
Facts.
It's just natural. That's who I am as a person. I make everyone feel comfortable, cool. You know what I'm saying? It's always genuine love with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You think that's important for barbers, like to have relationships and
all day,
be natural?
All day.
Yeah, because nobody wants to be cut up by like no dick, right?
Nah, for sure not. I mean, you know what? You gotta understand too. People gotta keep in mind everyone's going through their own things. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know, your barber might obviously be having a hard day. You know, you don't know what he's going through at home, or you know what, you know, at the end of the day, what he's going through. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what they're going through. You know what I'm saying? But what we could do is, you know, be there for them, you know what I'm saying? When we're cutting their hair, you know, listen to them, you know what I'm saying? But it's hard. It definitely is hard.
Yeah, no, that is a lot of work, man. Because sometimes you gotta be like an ear for them, right?
Yeah,
for people,
for sure. I'm always the ear though. That's for sure.
Yeah, you definitely are always the ear for sure. That's crazy. So now you do house calls, right?
Yeah, I do house calls.
So how much is that? If somebody called you, Zach, I need a house call, the haircut, the whole nine. How much is a house call?
So house calls for me right now range from, like, depending on the area, but $300 to $350.
Okay, and you go to them and you do everything like that.
Yeah.
Now that's good because a lot of, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's barbers that are watching this out there. Like, if someone's asking, like, yo, how can I go from just cutting in a shop to like doing what you're doing, like, you know what I mean? Like, what would you tell them?
What I would tell them would be, you know, focus on, you know, perfecting their work, you know, take your time on every haircut. Bless your client with the freshest cut. Make sure you take your content. Take your pictures. Make sure you try to if that's the route you want to go and cut athletes up. Make sure you're posting content every day. Tag the person that you want to maybe try to cut up. You know what I'm saying? Like
true.
That's what I would do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
just make sure you perfect your work every day.
100%. Now tell us like a time that you you gave somebody a haircut but didn't really go as planned, and like a crazy story of giving a haircut.
I got a crazy story. I'll never forget this. So I had to cut up Glenn Davis, Big Baby, from the Celtics.
Remember
right?
Big Baby guys?
Back when he was the Celtics, right? So he was playing in the Big Three in Miami, and I got hit up by some plug there that she deals with a bunch of clients. Which she was big in Miami with these clients and stuff. So she hit me up. She's like, hey, Glenn Davis needs a haircut before his game with the Big Three, but he needs it by this time, this and that. I made it happen right away. I stopped. Well, I finished the last haircut of the day. You know what I'm saying? And I drove out to the American Airlines arena. They were staying at a hotel across the street. And I remember, funny thing is, I end up going. I get upstairs, and so he opens the door, and off rip, I didn't know I was getting filmed. So he was filming a documentary. And he never told me this. He had a cameraman in my face, which, I was like, what the hell? He knew my name, so, like, he act like he knew me.
But
so,
you never met him.
I've never met him. So he act like he knew me. So he opens the door. He's like, yo, Zach, what's good, right? I'm like, oh, shit, what's good, my nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So I walk in, and, at the end of the day, I guess me being in a rush to get to him and to be able to get him fresh before the game, I kind of just was like everything was a rush. So finally, when I set up to cut his hair, I didn't know I had a loose blade. I had a loose blade in my box. So when I went to go grab my clipper, I'll never forget this.
Oh shit!
All I remember, like, my heart dropped because I felt like something,
Oof.
Blade cut me. So the blade had cut my finger. And all I remember is like, oh, this is the worst time this can happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I went to the bathroom real quick. I saw that, obviously, like, most barbers, they know that if you get cut by a blade or even like a scissors, like, bro, that shit just bleeds, man. Like, little cuts, like, always bleed the most.
Paper cuts, right?
Like paper cuts, but it's worse than a paper cut. You know what I'm saying? So I start bleeding, man. And I'm just like, fuck, bro. So I go to the bathroom. I try to look for a paper towel or some shit. There's nothing in there.
What?
So all I use is my neck strips. So neck strips is what the barbers use to put on the neck before a cape. So I put my neck strip around my finger to stop the bleeding. So the whole time I'm there cutting his hair, I'm also being filmed in his documentary of him, at the time. I don't remember where this video is today. But I had to cut him like this weird because I didn't want to show a bloody like neck strip paper with my finger being cut. So I'm there cutting him like mad weird the whole haircut.
And you're being filmed.
And I'm being filmed.
That's wild.
So I'm there like, and then I remember at a certain point, like I had to keep on changing out the paper.
Yeah.
And it was because it was so wet from the blood and stuff. So finally, when he stopped filming, it was the funniest thing because I tell him, I'm like, bro, do you guys have any Band-Aids here? And he's like, nah, why? I'm like, yo, before I even started your cut, I cut myself with a blade. He's like, what? Like, how did you do that? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, I just told you. I cut it with a blade. You know what I'm saying? So then, yeah, man, it was fun. It was funny. And then it's funny because he ended up asking me for a ride to the arena because his bus already had left with the team.
Oh,
yeah, Big Three is like, it's a few players. So, but they already had left, so he was running late. So after that, I ended up taking him. Big Baby Davis is pretty big.
Is he really big though?
Yeah, and at the time I was driving a Lexus IS. Oh. So imagine
squeeze in there.
It was mad funny.
Damn, that's
seen him like try to get out my Lexus to get into the arena. It was hilarious.
Wow. But the cut came out good?
Cut came out, man. All my cuts always come out. Especially when I take my time on someone. I blessed him.
Hell yeah. That's why I call him Zack Blendz. You get the blend, fading
I blessed
going.
him. You already know,
That's
man.
what's up.
You already know.
Is there anybody that you would want to cut? Like anybody that you would love to be able to cut, you know what I mean? Like, at least once or
once? Honestly, I've never
thought
of no one really like that. You know what I'm saying? I think honestly, I think it would be cool to cut like maybe like Adam Sandler.
Oh, that would be dope.
I wouldn't mind cutting Adam Sandler.
That would
even
be
hanging
dope.
out with Adam Sandler for
Man,
a day or some shit.
you'd definitely be hanging out
You know
for the
what I'm
whole
saying?
day after that.
For sure.
We gotta make Adam Sandler. Anybody knows Adam Sandler? Let's make it happen, man.
Well, for real.
Let's put him in the comments. Let's tag him. Let's get Adam Sandler's haircut.
That'd be super dope. It'll be on me. It'll be on me too. Whenever you come to Miami, buddy.
There it is. Boom. We're here in Miami. You hit him up. Wow. So besides the whole haircutting thing, you also throw it down in the kitchen.
Oh yeah.
So
That's
talk to us about that.
Well, I started. I've always, like I said earlier in the podcast, you know, I watched my mom cook growing up. I watched my grandma. Well, my grandma wasn't cooking a lot because she was working a lot, so I was doing a lot of cooking when I was younger, when I lived with her. But my mom was always a phenomenal cook. My mom can whip up the fire, for real.
Word.
She whipped up the fire. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, my mom would whip up the fire, but she'll have like the same like 6 dishes on rotation.
Yeah.
You know, she perfected that, and that's what me and my brother would eat. You feel me? So, yeah, man, that's where I learned basically where I wanted. You know what I'm saying?
But you didn't just learn. Like, how many dishes have you made? If you go in Blend's kitchen, there's literally like 100 different dishes.
Yeah.
Bro.
So I would pretty much say that. Yeah, I've made a lot of dishes, man. One thing I can tell you, I don't ever make the same I never make the same dish. I always make something
really
I always make something different. You know what I'm saying?
Really don't,
and
man.
I never ever make something taste the same either. I'm always trying to like season something different. You know, I'll try to go to different like countries to make stuff. You know what I'm saying?
And everything's all natural with you?
Huh?
Like all the ingredients, you do it from scratch, basically.
Yeah, I do everything from scratch.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's the favorite meal you ever made?
My favorite.
Your favorite.
Man, that's hard.
Your personal favorite.
To be honest with you, I like my spaghetti Alfredo for real.
Oh yeah.
I make my Alfredo sauce from scratch.
You had that yesterday for sure.
My Alfredo sauce is from scratch. I would say definitely any Puerto Rican style dish too. I like Puerto Rican like cuisine. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's very like super flavorful with the sofrito. You know what I'm saying?
You never thought about doing a food truck or a restaurant?
Man, I have, but it's just, man, I'm not too sure. You know, I enjoy cooking. I enjoy cooking for my son. Excuse me.
Lil Zach. Shout out to Lil Zach.
I enjoy cooking for my son, Lil Zach. You know what I'm saying? For my girl. You know, so I do that every day, man. I love going home and whipping up a good meal every day for them, and you know, just, you know, seeing the positive feedback on how good it tastes. And
Yeah.
I just, you know, when I cook, I really enjoy seeing people enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the same. Like when you see people with a fresh cut, you enjoy looking at it, right?
Yeah,
You said that before. Yeah.
I guess it's, you know.
So that's why
I like pleasing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You like making sure the details, because the details.
No homo.
Yeah, let's
No homo.
pause right there real quick. The details to being like cutting and cooking are the same, right? You got to be like.
Yeah. You got to.
Making sure everything is
perfection.
perfection.
Yeah, man. That's one thing that I take my time doing is perfecting.
That's dope.
Perfecting, man. I take my time on doing. Sometimes I'll be in the kitchen. Some people will be like, "Yo, how do you do that? How do you go to the shop and then go home and just cook like what you cook on a Monday night
and then do a house call
and then go do a house call?" I do that.
It's crazy. I
him.
was gonna say, like, what's the day in the life of Zack Blendz?
I'm him.
That's it right there.
I'm him. I make it happen, man.
That's it right there.
That's one thing I'm gonna do is make it happen. You feel me?
Yeah.
Feel me?
Uh-huh.
Or you grill me. You feel me?
100%, man. Damn, that's crazy. All right, so I mean, you're a chef. Then you also do the whole Zack Blendz cutting thing. Are there any other projects you're working on? like coming up?
Man,
any sponsorships with the barbers?
No, there's
or anything that you've been working on
right now with barbering. There's nothing going on too much with that. Other than what I do normally at the barbershop or whatnot. I got a few. I don't want to say sponsorships, but I got a few things pending with a few companies, possibly with pans and stuff, pans and pots for cooking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm waiting for that to come in and
that's
then
fire.
Get that popping, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah. So that's next up on the...
Yeah, that's next up. Maybe possibly my own little seasoning, Taste of Blends.
Oh, that's
or a cookbook.
Soon. That's a fire idea. Taste of Blends or a cookbook.
Yeah.
Or even, like we said, an ebook about for up-and-coming barbers on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How to be able to get out there. And so what would you say, like, lastly, to, like, if there are, I'm sure there are many barbers out there that are listening to this podcast, that are also athletes or whatever, but they want to take up being a barber, but they don't want to go full in because they don't know if they can make a career out of it. Like, what would you tell them to go all in being a barber if that's what they want to do?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, if you're gonna do anything, you might as well go 1,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you either do it or you don't. You know what I'm saying? There's something that I'm firm on. At the end of the day, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna give it my all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would just say, if you're gonna be a barber, and be the best barber. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of upcoming barbers that are taking the older barbers out the game nowadays. You know what I'm saying? They're learning quick. There's too much material online for them to learn faster. You know what I'm saying? When I was younger, I had only YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And I had to watch YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now there's people constantly posting haircuts and tutorials and this and that. So there's so many, like, it's so easy for a barber to get better because there's so much, there's so much things online for them to watch.
Tons,
you know what I'm saying?
Tons.
But I would definitely say, if you want to do it, go do it. You know what I mean?
Now, real quick, this is like a sensitive topic to a lot of barbers. Like, how do you say they price their haircuts? Like, if they think that they're the shit and they know that they're good at what they do and they give top notch service, you think they should stick with their whatever they feel like is good, or should they be, moving it around?
I feel like whatever you feel you deserve for your craft and how you perfect your craft, that's on you, man. You charge whatever you feel you deserve. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
At the end of the day, if it's $300 for a haircut or if it's $35, you know what I'm saying? That's on you. That's on you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, I can't tell anyone other than what I know I'm worth. You know what I'm saying? But you know your worth. You should know your worth.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
if you
a
don't,
fact.
you better get with the program.
Same thing with clothes, man. It's right. It's like what I feel or I made is what I want to charge.
Exactly.
With your service you provide, that's what you charge, and people gotta respect it because you put hours into the game, days, years into the game.
Exactly.
Right? So that's pretty dope, man. So now one of the quotes of this whole podcast is "The world is yours." All right. So in your own words, what would you say "the world is yours" means to you?
The world is yours. I would say the world is yours. Anything is possible. You know what I'm saying? Go out there. Whatever. Life is short, man. You know what I'm saying? It might not seem like it, but it is. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're gonna do in life, do it to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? Be good at it. Actually, you know what? Be great at it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say what the world is yours means to me. You know what I mean?
There we go. Anything is possible. Get out there. Be great at it. This was a dope-ass episode, my guy Zack Blendz, man. We're going to be dropping this real soon. If you guys want, in the comments, pick which shorts you think my man Zack right here, his favorite pair is. If you get them right, then we're going to pick a random winner to get a free pair as well. Right now, I'm rocking the unreleased sweatsuit. What you think of this unreleased sweatsuit?
Those are fire.
Crispy unreleased sweatsuit. That's going to be on the site soon. And with that, man, we out of here, so let's keep it crispy.